let me also come to the DPI, the digital public infrastructure as well. Are you happy with the progress made in account aggregators and even for that matter, the later on applications of India Stack? We started off with gusto, but are you happy?
Look at what has been achieved in the last. We have Aadhaar, 1.3 billion people, 80 million authentications a day. We have UPI, 350 million users, 14 billion transactions a month, 50 million merchants. You have DigiLocker, which has been built by MeitY, which has close to 300 million users today with billions of documents. So, all that is already at scale. Account aggregator also is scaling up, I believe, very well. And I think, when you build these DPIs, there are lots of moving parts. And you have to get, technology, regulation, markets, this, that. So you have to get all this together. So I think in the next few years, I think account aggregator will play a big role in general, but specifically on credit and personal finance management. For example, credit. Consumers can get credit with their own data.
That's what we thought.
Yeah, but it takes, these things take time. They don't, UPI was conceived in 2013. It took off only in 2016,
COVID,
2017.
Actually.
So, these things take years. Aadhaar was conceived in 2009.
Yes.
The big value came 7 years later. So, all these things take years and years to germinate, to marinate, and before they become.
Yes. And suddenly,
and one
it is
fine day
explosive.
something takes. So, I think A will be that in the next couple of years.
What's your sense about this other big word which we still don't see in public infrastructure, blockchain? At one point, we thought its application is going to come in various places.
Yeah, so what happened in the blockchain world is that...
we only think of crypto when we think of blockchain.
So blockchain technology is very useful, very powerful, because you can have a public blockchain, data is immutable, nobody can mess with it. Everybody has the same view, the single view of the data and so on. But I think two things happened in the blockchain world. One was it became a basis for saying we'll have our own currencies, right? So you have several thousand currencies from Bitcoin to Ether to all kinds of things, Solana, whatever. And then some of the ideological guys in that world said we will create currency without any authority. Yeah. So then software became the authority. So they do all kinds of things.
Yeah, all those algos will decide how many currencies. The algorithms.
Yeah, algorithms, how much compute time, whatever. Now, one of the things that we have done is I've just launched a paper with Augustine Carstens of BIS called the Finternet.
Okay.
Launched it about 3-4 months back. And basically that's using cryptographic technology, but in the service of
finance.
Finance in a world which is regulated and proper. So you have all the business rules, be it anti-money laundering, this, that, whatever, FATF, all that. But below the hood, the transaction engine for that will use cryptography. So it combines the best of both.
So that it is safe also.
Yeah. So that Finternet paper was published by Augustine and myself on April 19th I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you. It's in Washington. And there's a lot of global interest in that idea, which is essentially using blockchain type technology, but in the service of people.
Okay. Yeah, we were hoping one day it will mean you don't have to go through the dollar, you can exchange, make transactions without the intervention, but that's another chapter altogether. Now, coming back to, Finternet, which reminds me, are you happy with the progress that fintechs have made? At one point, we were running away with our imagination, but when Paytm was doing extremely well, and of course UPI joined in. But when UPI became a public good, the fintechs are not taking off in that same fashion. Are you worried or disappointed?
The payment, what UPI did was essentially made high volume, low cost payments a commodity, right? And that actually enabled so many companies, right? So it's like basic infrastructure, and of course in payments itself, Paytm is there. We have companies like PhonePe and people like Google Pay.
Yes.
Then there are a lot of the capital market companies use UPI.
Oh yes.
Zerodha, Grow, and all these guys. So education companies. I mean, the companies like Physics Wala and all that, they built their subscription business on UPI or JAR, which does micro, they like every day you save a few rupees. They use UPI AutoPay. So now the UPI is now becoming part of the fabric. So there are many companies being built which could not have been done without UPI.
Okay. What's your sense of the next big moment? UPI was this big moment in our
No, I think account aggregator is a big thing. Applying AI to Indian thing will be huge. ONDC and open networks is another big thing. ONDC for commerce, ONDC for mobility, open networks for energy transactions. We have something called the Unified Energy Interface. And then there's, of course, the Finternet. So there are many things down the road which are going to, but remember, these things don't happen in a day.
Immediately, yeah.
They have to.
You're happy with the progress of ONDC?
Oh,
I think it sparked people's imagination and interest a great deal, but it's taken some time coming.
No, again, they're already doing millions of transactions. I think they're doing an excellent job. Mobility, they have food. Food is a big thing on ONDC. They are allowing
food delivery, is it?
Yeah, there are many companies in food delivery, and again, different models are emerging there. There's I think Magic Pen is a company which operates food delivery on ONDC, and they use Ola's.
I think it's very big in Bangalore.
I don't know where all they are, and they use Ola's two-wheeler EV for delivery and so on. So all these things are all coming together. So I think it'll continue to grow, and it's also ONDC, because of its architecture, allows a small supplier to now offer his products and be discovered by anyone else. So I think it's,
You're happy with the
achieved a
progress.
lot, but we have a lot more to do.
Okay. Well, just a final word. You have been in technological services and its, value-added uses. But what is the silver bullet for Indian manufacturing? Because India is in that. So, as a technocrat.
No, I think Indian manufacturing actually is poised for good growth. For one, the infrastructure is much better today in India, and people can produce and put on a container and send it to the port. All that is working extremely well. Roads and so on. So I think even air cargos, I think infrastructure is in good place. I think this China Plus One is kicking in. And there's so many companies, whether it's electronics companies, whether they're pharmaceutical companies, whether they're people who make clothes or toys. So I think
you're confident that.
Yeah. So I think there'll be a lot of shift of global manufacturing to India. Yeah. I mean, it's not going to happen.
Then the inevitable question is, what do you make of the services shift to India, the shift of middle office to India?
No, services is huge.
See, there is this fear, especially since every European and elections, even in Asia, are throwing out the incumbents. There is this big fear of American elections as well. Tariffs and.
Yeah, but
do you therefore fear this middle office?
We have to separate goods from services, right? Tariffs typically come on goods and
goods,
trade.
Yes.
I think services will continue because it's helping everyone.
So our business processes exports and services exports are not
and
endangered by
GCC is there, they're part of those.
So this geopolitics, you don't see it endangering services exports?
Geopolitics is always uncertain, but I think by and large services will continue to do well.
Okay, it's great when you say that. Thank you very much, Nandan Nilekani.
Thank you, Latha.
For your time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.